Good evening. This video is about the third practical. So today we are going to look into the third practical, that is customer ID, the creation of customer table, account table, and a transaction table to create view display to the customer name, account ID, and current balance, to create an index on the transaction date in the transaction table, and to add constraints, multiple constraints such as primary key on all the IDs, foreign keys between customer accounts and account transaction tables, using check constraints on balance, and so on. Further, transaction type also to assign credit and debit, and other constraints such as credited date and transaction date as current date. So let's look into this third problem statement. For that, first of all, let's open SQL command. Okay, first of all, let's create the database as a banking system. Now let's use a database banking system. Banking system. Now we have to create table as customer. First thing, we have to create customer ID. So it is customer ID. Let's assign as integer value. After that, we assign it as a primary key and set it to auto increment. So now we will assign a column for name, where and the size of over 100, and it will make it not null, comma, enter address, variable character, again the size of 200, enter name, address, and what more, phone. Phone where char we will assign it to be unique constraint, unique, not null, comma, enter email, variable character, size of 100, assign it unique, not null. So the customer table has been created. We have assigned customer ID. We have made it primary key to further use it as a foreign key. We have taken other columns for name, address, phone, and email. Further, we have to create a table for account. So create table account. Here we will be doing the same thing, making an account ID, then account type, and here we are going to do the same thing. create an account ID. The account type, we will also be taking the customer ID to further use it for foreign key, and we will be also taking in the balance which is in the account, and the date at which the account was created. So we will create columns for these values. So first of all, account ID, right? So account ID integer, make it primary key, set it at auto increment, yeah, enter. So yeah, account ID integer primary key auto increment. So then further we have to take account type account type variable, we will be making it variable character, assigning it 30 size. We will be using check constraint over this account type. So the account type will be checked in this table. It will be checked for either it is saving account or current account or a fixed deposit account. Yeah, so the account type is basically the data type is variable character, right? The check constraint is used over this column where we'll be checking this whether it is saving, current or fixed deposit. So now we will make customer ID integer, not null, mainly to use it as foreign key further. Yeah, integer not null. The important part is that we have to create a column for balance. So balance is in decimal. The balance here is in decimal. Further we have to give uh, default, make the default as 0.00. So this will make the balance as default 0 in the beginning. Then we will add a check constraint and brackets. We will add into the check constraint that the balance should be always greater than or equal to 0, not less than that. It should not be negative. That's what we are checking here. Now for date, when the account was created, so the created date, created date, use date, make it default. This is a constraint, we make it default. The current date, So then the foreign key, oh, spelling mistakes. We're making foreign key on customer ID. Customer ID. It will references the customer table, right? Customer table, uh, customer ID. So foreign key, customer ID, references, customer table, customer ID, closing it and enter. Our second table of account is here completed, and now we'll be creating the third table. Create table. This table is for transaction, so we'll be creating table transaction. Create table transaction. The same as for all. Transaction ID, integer, make it primary, key, add auto increment. We will be taking the account ID from above as not null. Yeah, we took the account ID to make the account table foreign key here. After that, here you have to add the transaction type, what sort of transactions we are making. So for that, transaction type column, it is a variable character, assigning it just 10. Again, check constraint, action type in, whether it is credit, debit. That's what we have to check, whether the transactions are credit transactions or debit transactions. Credit or debit. Okay, so I actually forgot, I guess, when okay, yeah, I forgot to put a close bracket here. So yeah, let's just make it, write the whole thing again. Create table, enter account ID. So here now let's add one more close. Yeah, enter. So now the transaction type has been made. So the last thing in transaction table is I guess it's the amount table, the amount column for amount. It will be in decimal. 20/2. Here we will have check constraint to check that the amount should always be greater than 0. Amount is all, yeah, actually is always greater than 0. the transaction dates, on what date the transactions were made. So for that, transaction transaction dates, variable character, date, it will be set as default constraint. So default dates will be given. We will not have to give input. Instead, it will just consider the current date as the default date. So current underscore date. Now let's add foreign key for account ID. So foreign key account ID. It references the table of account. अकाउंट टेबल को रेफरेंस कर रहा है, उसमें अकाउंट आईडी, या राइट, यस, अकाउंट आईडी, या so we will create a view now for a customer name, account ID, and the current balance. So to create view, we will be using create view operations on customer account view as select. So customer account view as select. That will be c dot name as customer name, for the a dot account ID current balance from customer C. Here I am joining the account A with C customer. Okay, now we have to create index for transactions. So create index idx that is uh, underscore transaction date. Okay, so now we have to insert the sample data. So just we have to insert data in all of the tables. So let's take sample data. We have been given that we have to take minimum of 5 uh, in each table. So let's begin with the table customer, insert into customer values. First of all, let's take, let's say name is a third, Deshmukh, then place address is Pune, customer ID be uh, here we're taking input for the account table. So first of all customer ID, then the type of the account, let's say it's saving. After that, the balance in the account, let's say it's 25,000. We have taken decimal, so we have to give decimal value here. Then the date created. So let's say the account was created at 2024 dash 1 dash 5. Is this similar for the rest of the inputs? It's the same. Now we have to perform the same task for transaction table. Insert into transaction the values that we will be using. Columns are account ID, transaction type, amount, transaction date, so account ID, transaction type, amounts, and transaction date. Again, values, enter. Let's take raw data. The transaction type is credit. 1,000 rupees was transaction. And the date of the transaction 2025 dash 11 dash 11. Okay, so here now I have inserted the transaction table as well after some trouble. So let's now look what more we have to do in this problem statement. Okay, so we have added a insert command for all the tables. So third is the constraint, apply key on all IDs. Yes, so we have already used all this. So I'll just show you the tables in the end. So select all from account, select all from transaction. So you can see the account type, the account ID, customer ID, balance, create date, transaction state, the amounts of the transactions, the types of them, account ID here again, the transaction IDs. So as you can see, The account ID is here and here. And let me show you the first table for customer table. So this is the customer table attached to the customer ID. So if we want to further join these tables, we can use that command, and so on. Now to see the join we created up here. Yes, the view we created here as a customer account view. It's a joined table between customer and account. So we can just see it. Just a minute. See it here as select all from customer account view. Yes, so here customer ID, their current balances, and the customer names. If we want to create this, for example, if you want to create a customer transaction view between the customer table and the transaction table, then it is as simple as just to say create view. It will be customer transaction as select enter. From the customer table, it will be the customer ID, comma, again from the same table, name as customer name. So you want to take it as customer name, so you have to write it as customer name. Then we want to take the account from the account table, account ID, then remaining all from the transaction table. It will be transaction ID, transaction ID, then again a transaction type, transaction type, amount of transaction, and then the transaction date. Transaction dates, amount, transaction ID. So we are taking the customer ID and the account ID in order to link the customer ID to the transaction ID, which in turn will be the way we will be connecting the customer and the transaction tables. We are taking the customer's name from the customer table and the rest data from the transaction table. So it will be from customer C join. So transaction dates, there will be from which customer. We are defining it as customer C and using join to join it with account table A on C dot uh, customer ID is equals to A dot customer ID. Now we have created a link between the customer IDs in table customer and table account. Now we'll be doing the same for between the links between the account and transaction table. Customer ID join transaction T on A dot account ID is equals to T dot account ID. Okay, so transaction will joining transaction T on A dot account ID is equals to T dot account ID. Now this will solve the problem of the unknown table SC. Yes, so to display it, select all from, as the name we have given, customer transaction, customer transaction. So here it is, the table it is showing customer ID, customer name, account ID, the transaction ID, the account ID, customer ID and transaction ID acted as the links to join these two, and the account table is quite like a mediator between the customer table and transaction table, as it contains both the account ID and customer ID. So that's all for this practical.